Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ashley bringing you today's news in Fair Grove. Today we're going to be talking about the three main topics for leadership. Our topics are honesty, integrity, outstanding self-awareness, vision, courage, communication skills, and most importantly, team building.
Honesty and integrity. So whenever in the weight room, being a team leader is making sure you get all of your activities done, whether it's your abs, like doing your main lifting, making sure you get all of them done. And if you notice someone not doing it, calling them out and being like, hey, you need to hold yourself accountable for this and be honest with yourself about doing all those workouts.
Of course, I love it. And you wouldn't want to drop the bar on anybody, so that's a big part of integrity too. What about you, Logan?
Okay, so when it comes to outstanding self-awareness, I believe a lot of people try to fit into other people's molds, and by that I mean they don't sit down and say, hey, what are my strengths, weaknesses, what am I good at? And self-awareness is like knowing yourself, really. What are you comfortable with, what are you comfortable with, and what are you willing to grow in? For example, like making new friends. I mean, do you want to hang out with the group over here that you know does bad things on the weekend? Or are you going to be aware of yourself and who you are and respect yourself enough to hang out with people that are like-minded and similar to your interests?
That's very good, very good. Could you give us an example, maybe a backstory about somebody famous or somebody we might all know?
Let's see, Simon Cowell. So he's you probably all know him as the judge in America's Got Talent. He actually wasn't always in the position he was in. He used to be a hardcore drug addict, homeless, and not have a lot of money to his name. But then whenever he finally started realizing who he was, his strengths, his weaknesses, and how he could play into his strengths to increase his overall effectiveness in life and happiness, then he saw not only his happiness increase, but his bank account got a lot more zeros, that's for sure.
Very, very true. Now, Liz, back to you. Tell us about PMA, positive
Mental
attitude.
Yes, positive mental attitude.
Sorry, I forgot about that one.
Nah, you're good.
And how it ties into leadership. Can you expand on that?
Yeah. So on the volleyball court, if you don't have a positive mental attitude, it's easy to get down on yourself and not play very well. But once, if you're a leader on the team and you step up with that positive mental attitude, it can change the entire outlook for the game or your set that you're playing. And that goes for all sports, and even in a school setting where you're doing a group project, it might not be looking good, you might be running back on time, something like that. But once that one leader steps up with that positive mental attitude, it can change the entire outlook of the group.
Our next topic, vision and courage. What do you have to say about that, Liz?
Well, in student council, we have to have a vision for our school dances, our bulletin boards, our spirit days, what we're going to do, how to plan out. And we really have to think about and put into action our visions and what we want it to be. Because you can say, oh, this is going to be so good, but you have to have the courage to go through with it and to put those really plans into action. So with courage and vision, how they go hand in hand is you have to be courageous enough to step up to the challenge of your vision.
That's very good, very good. What about you, Logan? Let's move on to communication skills and team building. What do you have to add about that?
Okay, so a lot of people think communication skills would be emailing, texting, calling, etc., stuff like that. However, one of the biggest communication, I believe, in leadership is just body language, leading by example. It could be something as simple as opening a door for a girl, and there's a 7-year-old boy watching you, and you're setting an example for him, and establishing a foundation for his future to carry on that respectable tradition, And I think what it comes down to is leading by example. If you're not putting in the work and getting the results, then how can you truly say that you are a leader and you're someone who is worthy of looking up to? So if you're not getting the results, or if you're not putting in the work and you're not proving that you can be a leader, then what's the sense of calling you a leader? And team building. So. This kind of relates back to positive mental attitude. Team building, you're never going to get a perfect team. You're never going to get everybody like-minded, everybody who has the same values, same agreements, and what it comes down to is finding the middle ground and being positive about the approach. So whatever you approach, like a team that you're not super familiar with or you don't really want to work with, being positive can get you through it, and it'll even help you be open to new ideas and finding middle ground for a lot of topics.
That's good. Truly beautiful, folks. We have some great advice here. Thank you all for channeling in and watching. This is Liz Holland, Logan Hallman, and I'm Ashley Gollinger. Back to you, Carl.